What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Sex Education Season 3 video as we discuss possibly where and when the show is actually set. Of course, it's actually set in the fictional place of Moordale, which could be anywhere in the UK. It's not quite clear as to where the real Moordale is supposed to be, with many wondering from Season 1 till now that could this be happening in the United States, with the creators being coy about the location. Kids wear no school uniform and even have Letterman jackets. But make no mistake, this is clearly British through and through. Show writer Laurie Nunn has said it is British, but the time period is bizarre, and Nunn has said that the American influences are deliberate, along with classic cars and very American ways of, education. The introduction of a student from Minneapolis makes it clear as day that Moordale is set in the UK, but stuck in a Pleasantville John Hughes world. It is inspired by the John Hughes teen movies like iconic Ferris Bueller's Day Off and The Breakfast Club, the former being itself out of time, and Sex Education is no different. Season 3, however, has given us much more insight into when and where this show is actually set. Now, 90% of the tech in the show and the future architecture and such is incredibly 80s, and so very, very British, with the radios, cars and such, but they also have mobile phones. In a scene, we have a Nintendo Entertainment System, Xbox One S, a archaic Apple II, and even a modern computer monitor. It's evident this is quite clearly intended to be the 80s, albeit with modern technology and American-style PE kits. A sort of pseudo-80s which fits in with the modern day, showing that designs are cyclical, with 90s stuff now back in fashion. Just look at Bring Me the Horizon, bringing back late 90s cyberpunk goth, which I'm sure is a clandestine deal to get Cyberdog in Camden even more popular than it is, but I've never met a person who actually bought anything from there. They just look around and look at the dildos and titter to themselves. I guess that's very British. In this season, we have two distinct flashbacks showing two distinct flashback periods. Lily, in the episode where her story makes local news, flashes back to writing her stories as a kid in something that was straight out of the 70s or could even be the late 60s. The other flashback was the formative years of Mr. Groff, where we see the origin of his toxic masculinity with his mother and his father, who is an awful person, looking straight out of the 40s or even the early 50s. I'd probably say early 50s there, putting his age just about right for the 80s setting of Sex Education. Now the question is, where is Moordale? Or why is Moordale? Sorry, I watched Infinity War the other day and that's been on my mind. I always found it weird they called it a school when it is possibly a college, but in episode 8 of season 3 they do call it a sixth form, and probably have said that before in things I've missed, but it was just odd that you never see anyone outside of the sixth form. You never see any little year 7s to 11s. If you have seen in-betweeners, well, you note that that is set in sixth form, but you see the younger kids as they cause trouble for the in-betweeners. It's probably an influence here of American, where kind of kids go to school until they're 18, but in the UK they now have to be educated up until 18. That's quotation marks there, because you can just do a BTEC makeup and beauty course and the world's your oyster. The show itself is filmed in Wales, but there's not a single Welsh accent in the show that I could make out, and the show must take place in England, and the accents are quite clearly southern, and I'm sure that we can all agree that the accents are not from the southwest of England, as that has been done to death in Skins, and they are quite clearly from the southeast. Originally I thought of Essex, more specifically North Essex, as they don't sound like me, and London is not mentioned once, as us Essexites are obsessed with the big smoke for I don't know why. but hypocritically I'm going to go there to see WWE soon. The trip to France was also a very good indicator, as they were close to Dover to make it a trip done in one day, much like I had when I was a young child. And the closest place to Essex would actually be rural Kent, which is just south of Essex there. And it, or at least has, the natural beauty that surrounds Moordale. Now, of course, there are many other places that I think this could be. It could quite clearly be Brighton, as the show has very progressive thoughts and things going on. It's a very progressive school, and Brighton is a very progressive area, but I'm going to stake my ground and put Kent, but I do think it's at least the southeast, in this area at least. So let me know where you think it is. Of course, this is all just my opinion. I'm not stating exactly where it is. It's just an educated guess. I'm not going to go into that. It was absolutely awful, and I do apologise, and I'm very tired, and that's probably why that joke's made. But that is it for this video. Please drop a like down below if you enjoyed it. Do subscribe with notifications on, and do check out Sex Education Season 3, now on Netflix, because it is a stunningly good teen drama. And I'll see you soon, and goodbye.